Yankees universe, welcome back to your go-to channel, the New York Yankees News Network. Today's we have 3 jam-packed updates about our Bronx Bombers, which happens or comes to notice few hours ago. So if you are a true Yankees fans, you don't want to miss these updates. And yes, before starting the video, request you to, if you are new to the channel, then don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can stay in a loop. Now, stepping right into the action, let us break down the first massive piece of information that just dropped. Update 1. Rotation heartbreak. Massive blow as a star pitcher hits the shelf just as Carlos Rodón returns. The New York Yankees were finally on the absolute cusp of having their formidable Big Four starting pitchers completely healthy and ready to dominate the league. This immense optimism was fueled by the anticipated return of veteran southpaw Carlos Rodón, who is making his way back to the active roster following a grueling 6-week stay on the injured list caused by elbow inflammation. However, in a crushing twist of fate that occurred just one single day before Carlos Rodón was scheduled to make his much-anticipated return start, the organization announced another devastating setback. The team placed notable left-handed pitcher Max Fried on the 15-day injured list after he suffered a left elbow bone bruise. This is an incredibly frustrating situation because it is the exact same recurring elbow issue that previously sidelined Max Fried for more than 2 months earlier in this current baseball season. What makes this development even more heartbreaking for the fans and the clubhouse is that Max Fried only managed to last for 5 pitching starts when he did eventually make his way back to the active roster. This unfortunate recurrence now puts the entirety of the remainder of the 32-year-old pitcher's season in severe jeopardy. If any semblance of his previous stint on the injured list repeats itself, it would mean that Max Fried would not be able to return to the mound until the World Series, and that is only if the Yankees manage to make it that far into the postseason. Luckily for the Bronx Bombers, the front office has built one of the very best starting pitching rotations in all of Major League Baseball, and they have maintained this elite status even with the absolute onslaught of injuries that have plagued the pitching staff throughout this season. The resilience of this group is staggering when you look at the timeline of events. Elite ace Garrett Cole started the year late after he spent months completing his extensive rehabilitation from Tommy John surgery. Similarly, Carlos Rodón began his year late after he was forced to undergo off-season elbow surgery, and he unfortunately struggled across 9 difficult starts before that aforementioned elbow inflammation forced him back onto the shelf. Despite all of these major hurdles, starting pitcher Cam Schlittler has emerged as one of the heavy favorites to win the American League's Cy Young Award. As a collective unit, the Yankees starting pitchers have combined to produce the absolute lowest earned run average across the entire sport, sitting at a phenomenal 3.38. Before this devastating injury update broke, the New York Yankees were standing on the precipice of having to make a very difficult roster decision. They were preparing to send one of their reliable starting pitchers down into the bullpen to accommodate the return of Carlos Rodón, with the most likely candidates for that demotion being either Ryan Weathers or Will Warren. Now, because of the injury to Max Fried, that tough decision absolutely does not have to be made. Will Warren will now likely be pushed back to start Wednesday's game, stepping directly into Max Fried's vacant place in the starting rotation as the team travels to Baltimore to face off against the Baltimore Orioles. New York's starting pitching staff has genuinely had to do some extremely heavy lifting as of late. They have been forced to support an offensive lineup that has been completely out of whack for several consecutive weeks due to the extended absences of superstar sluggers Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger, and Giancarlo Stanton. The offensive struggles have been so profound that only the Los Angeles Angels have managed to score fewer runs than the New York Yankees over the course of the last 30 games. The pitchers have kept the championship dream alive, but the loss of Max Fried is a monumental hurdle to overcome.
Update 2. Organizational depth shakeup. Yankees announce another roster blow ahead of high-stakes division showdown. as our Bronx Bombers prepare to open a massive series against the Baltimore Orioles in Baltimore, Maryland on Tuesday night, following a well-deserved team day off on Monday. The front office had to deliver yet another unfortunate health update affecting organizational pitching depth. The Major League squad is heading into this crucial matchup after a hard-fought road trip against the Toronto Blue Jays up in Canada, where they dropped 2 out of 3 games, but managed to narrowly avoid a sweep by grinding out a gutsy 4-3 victory in 10 innings on Sunday. As Gary Phillips of the New York Daily News Sports highlighted, it certainly was not pretty or easy, but the Yankees showed tremendous resilience to close out the series with a win. However, right as the team shifted focus to their division rivals in Baltimore, the organization made an official roster move at the AAA minor league level. On August 17th, the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders announced that 27-year-old left-handed pitcher Will Bryan has officially been placed on the 7-day injured list. Will Bryan was originally selected in the 10th round of the 2022 Major League Baseball draft out of Eastern Kentucky, and he has spent 5 dedicated seasons developing entirely within the Yankees minor league system. While he has spent his tenure working through the ranks, he has remained an intriguing depth arm for the organization, especially during a season where left-handed pitching and organizational endurance are being tested to the absolute limit. This latest minor league setback comes at a pivotal turning point in the regular season. Right now, the New York Yankees occupy second place in the American League East with a record of 69 wins and 55 losses through 124 games. The team has played even baseball recently, going 5-5 over their last 10 matchups, while carrying a road record of 38 wins and 28 losses over 66 games away from the Bronx. With the Yankees sitting 6.0 games behind the first-place Tampa Bay Rays in the division race, every single matchup in Baltimore and the upcoming home series against the Toronto Blue Jays on Friday night carries enormous weight for playoff positioning. Update 3. From Bronx hero to championship manager, former Yankee David John LeMahieu pulls off an incredible summer title triumph. New York Yankees fans spent parts of 6 incredible seasons watching David John LeMahieu grind out at bats like his very life depended on it, continuously fouling off pitch after pitch until an opposing pitcher finally cracked under the immense pressure. If you loved watching him display that relentless level of intense dedication in New York, you are going to absolutely love this incredible story. Because absolutely nothing about the man has changed, even though he is now wearing a completely different jersey and sitting in a different dugout. David John LeMahieu shows up and he works, which is exactly how he successfully won batting titles in 2 different leagues, secured multiple Gold Glove awards, and survived and thrived for 15 tremendous years in the major leagues. On Thursday night in St. Cloud, in his very first year as a rookie manager, his unmatched work ethic is exactly how he and his college summer team took home a massive championship trophy. His team, the Royal Oak Leprechauns, trailed 1-0 heading into the 8th inning against the St. Cloud Rocks. Suddenly, Luke Costco chopped a clutch 2-out, go-ahead 2-run single to completely flip the script and give the Leprechauns the lead. Recent Brother Rice 2026 graduate Ethan Reedy, representing David John LeMahieu's own high school alma mater, successfully closed out the game to give the Leprechauns the 3-1 victory, while a freshman right-handed pitcher set the tone early with 6 magnificent shutout innings of his own. Following the massive championship game, David John LeMahieu spoke with Noah Chavez, who served as the dedicated broadcaster for the Leprechauns all season long. David John LeMahieu started the conversation exactly the way you would expect from him, expressing that he was immensely proud of his guys and genuinely happy for their success. When Noah Chavez asked him about their grit, you could hear him smile before he even answered, stating that he always calls them the gritty Leprechauns because they do not have the best field, and the Northwoods League is an absolute grind. He continued by passionately saying that these guys showed up every single day, no matter the circumstance, no matter the travel or the time of day, and that is what he is most proud of. He added, almost as an afterthought, that it clearly showed in these playoffs, as they just showed up and went completely about their business. Part of what made that remarkable championship run possible is the brilliant roster David John LeMahieu and his coaching staff put together in the first place, featuring a true mix of talent from top to bottom. The team seamlessly blended junior college transfers right next to Division II and Division III guys, even including a Division III arm who confidently jumped to Division I and will be playing for Cliff Godwin at East Carolina University. The championship roster also featured massive Southeastern Conference and Atlantic Coast Conference names, including a kid heading to Oklahoma this fall, and another talented player who was proudly on the 2025 National Championship roster back in June. Blending a group that wide into one single identity on a roster that keeps turning over all summer as guys come and go on their own college schedules is absolutely no small coaching feat. And David John LeMahieu never hid that winning was only half the job, as he wanted these kids to walk away from the summer completely glad they came to Royal Oak. And by every single account, that is exactly what happened. New York Yankees fans know exactly what his winning mentality sounds like, and we send huge cheers to David John LeMahieu, who is probably walking around his baseball complex right now with a trophy in his arms, proving that his elite work ethic and winning culture travel incredibly well outside of the Bronx. All right, Yankees universe, that officially wraps up our 3 massive updates for today. Thank you so much for tuning in to the New York Yankees News Network. If you enjoyed this fully detailed breakdown, please make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another breaking update about our Bronx Bombers. Until next time, stay passionate, stay loud, and let's go Yankees.